Rod, come on,
Josh.
man. Come on, man.
Josh.
Rod.
Josh.
Welcome to episode 139, Rod. Ken. How the
Thank you
fuck
for
are
having
you
us.
doing?
I'm doing outstanding. Why are we yelling?
Because it's 139.
Because Josh has scissors. And he's coming after us with them. That's why.
139.
Oh my god, I already want to start talking about the movie. Okay, hold on. Rewind me.
We'll get
Hi
there.
and welcome.
We are the.
Oh, yeah, Murder Moose podcast.
Yes.
Yep. Say it.
It's in
Say
the
it,
game.
Rod. No.
It's in the game.
It's part of the
It's part of the Slash and
Cast
Cast podcast
network. Oh, wait. That one.
It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game.
This is a disaster, as always.
We're doing great.
I seriously, I was stalling because nothing was working again, just like last week, but I know how to fix it now, Rod. I know how to fix it.
Josh has lost his goddamn mind. It's good to be here.
He's missed us, is what it is.
I know. He's going to go into the mountains and hump a moose and chiz across nature of Canada.
I almost said and do Chibuwa, and I was like, that's not what it's called at all.
Welcome to lovely people. And I am glad that we are back. I am glad we were talking about this crazy movie, which I had never seen, but I knew basically everything. I had the premise of everything and how it ended. But this movie does not fuck around.
When I went to go get this poster, which is like one of the, many alternate posters that exist for this one, I saw the inside one and with the Dimension Home Theater Extreme Edition or whatever. Is that the American version? Because I think I might have seen that back in the day.
No, they the one that was on Shudder at least claimed Dimension Extreme.
Oh,
is there?
Well,
yeah.
I've seen that before, and maybe it wasn't this, but I saw at least the poster or some shit. But I digress.
Okay, before we go into the fucked up thing, what do you guys been watching anything cool?
John Wick.
What have I been? Oh, I've been
Finally
watching
watched
something, but I'm not telling people what it is yet.
Oh.
Can we just say Succession is over and that show was fucking great and I loved the ending. There we go.
I spent all weekend watching Fubar with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is basically True Lies, the television show. And
see, I'm from Calgary. I can't do it. I only watch the original because Terry lives right up the street from me, and I'm not going to watch it just out of protest.
I didn't know that was a remake. That's a remake?
No. There's a movie called Fubar, and then there's a Fubar 2, and it's about Edmontonians coming into Calgary, blah, blah, blah. It's like, they're just metal dudes that
this is about
drink a lot of Pilsner.
It's a spy movie, though.
Why is your camera so off to the left, man? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, Rod? There we go.
Dude, I'm lucky that my computer's running right now, if we're being fucking honest. Jesus Christ. No, I liked Fubar. It was good to see Arnold Schwarzenegger back and kicking ass for 8 episodes. And
oh, you already binged it?
Yeah, oh yeah. And it was good to see. It was True Lies, a television show, very similar. And then they had Tom Arnold even popped up for an episode or two. And
that's
fun.
I
liked it. It was fun.
But was it as fun as Inside?
I mean, I've been kicked in the dick. That's been more fun than Inside because Inside is not fun. Inside is like very. I think the only thing I could compare Inside to is probably Martyrs in a lot of ways because it's got that same kind of just like.
And looking for the poster, they were side by side with nothing but Martyrs. So I was like, oh, well, we might as well just fucking watch Martyrs if this is right up there with it.
Oh, and I watched the movie that you said you wanted to watch next week, Josh. Good Influencer.
I can't wait to watch it.
It was very. I liked it, but it's very.
Let's talk about it next week then.
I know. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. It's on Shudder now, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
also
know.
watched that at some
That's
point.
why
yeah.
that's why I brought it up. It was at
Yeah.
Cuff, and that was the one that I was trying to get to the most. And then also today I just downloaded The Black Demon, which is a massive shark on the cover or on the poster. So it could be something that we do with someone named KPP. So
God damn
it's
it.
up there.
God damn it. My computer's possessed by Satan. It's official. At least I didn't
Well,
go anywhere.
You were gone for half a second. Who cares?
I know. I'm just saying. Okay. Let us then dive into the shit show that is Inside, because this literally is one of those movies that was on my...
Wait, I want to know. You made me curious. You said you didn't want to tell anyone, but I'm no one. So now you got to tell me.
But if I tell you on here, people are going to know. I will tell you off the podcast, and I'll tell you why off the podcast.
Fuck. Okay.
Ass and titties. Ass and titties.
Okay.
We're getting there. Oh, Ken, are you gonna with your adventures to Florida? Are you gonna be able to record next week? Fine.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
With a new mic.
My mobile mic is better
But what if
now.
it sounds better than this? Would you just use it?
Maybe. I don't know. This one was very expensive. However, I've had it for like 6 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've had mine for like 5 years at this point, or 6. I don't know. It's a long time. I've had it for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
know.
I love this mic. It's great.
Okay. We're gonna go talk about 2007's Inside.
Can I just say, Rod, you look like a lion today, and I love it.
So I went and weed whacked my yard last night or yesterday, like afternoon, like early. And when I came back in, my back decided it was going to start fucking being a hell on earth and just like terrorize me. So I showered, and then like I was lazy the rest of the day, and my hair has been fluffy because of it. And Josh was hitting buttons. Oh, I watched a member of the community. No one wanted to watch Psycho Gorman, but me and Virobot did on Friday night, and we really, and Virobot has become a giant fan of Psycho Gorman because he's also Canadian, so he loves all the Canadian things, and
It's
enjoys
amazing.
Psycho. It's so good. It's so good, and Ken's just gonna keep watching it, not watching it because she hates us, and it hurts. It hurts my soul.
I don't understand why you haven't watched it. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, shit.
Honestly, I don't know now.
Except
Just
now
watch it!
her community just tells her never to watch it whenever I bring it up in her chat.
Oh. This is the only reason now. It's a meme.
Yeah. It is a meme. But yes,
Exactly.
we're going to talk about Inside from 2007, the French movie, part of the French extremité movement.
Part of the Slash and Cast podcast.
By the way, it was fucking weird. So Bloody Date Night is one of the other podcasts on our network, and they're calling it Raps after like they've been doing this for like 8 years, but I think we have more episodes than them. But like they actually released an episode last week where they talked about High Tension the same day as us. It was really kind of weird because it's not like High Tension's something people talk about all the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And it wasn't like we told people. So
Yeah, it was just weird. It was a weird thing. But yes, so we are talking about Inside from 2007, and it reads as follows. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby.
Bitch.
Yeah, so I'd never seen this movie, obviously.
But she was hot, so it made no sense.
I'm what the crazy lady?
Yeah, she was good looking.
I mean, I think her biggest thing was that she had that like the most super villain gap in her teeth of all time. It was like, you will kick a field goal in between my teeth because the gap is so big. But like, yeah, she wasn't bad looking, and it was they made her both of them look. I have to say, I I think that this movie's characters win worst supporting characters of all time because
They're
every
there
single
just to get killed.
yeah, every single character in this movie is like, hey, what can I do to one, not only get myself killed, but ensure that the crazy lady with the scissors is going to kill everyone else too.
They made her look like Godzilla, like she could never be stopped. Like it yeah.
well,
She was Godzilla.
Sitting there at the end of the movie, and I was wondering if like she was dying because like there was like that pool of whatever underneath her at the very, very last scene. I don't think she was, but even if she was, like, that bitch, his face was cooked off. Like, it was like, how do you want your psycho crazy lady? Oh, we want her, like, medium well. And it was like that. It was the very Freddy Krueger-y, there at the end. But yeah,
I love before I watched this movie, the one critic's review that I read was, leave it to the French to make Suspiria look like a 30s drawing room comedy. I'm like, okay, cool.
So, with that being said, I went on a deep dive, which is what I've started doing after watching these. And the filmmakers who did this one, Julian Murray and Alexandra, I can't say words, Bastillo. They listed one of their influences as Argento and Clive Barker and John Carpenter. But what caught me off guard was that they were the directors of the 2017 Leatherface, which is one of my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies outside of 1 and 2. And I was like, what the hell? So I was really excited about that. They were supposed to be involved in the remake of Hellraiser, but they left that project as well as Rob Zombie's remake of John Carpenter's Halloween.
What?
Yeah.
They're hooked
like
up.
I was like blown away. What was exciting about this, and the reason why I was like so stoked whenever we mentioned it, is I saw the 2016 version of Inside a few years ago. And it's very good. And I knew that I had seen something along the same lines. However, this one is so much better just on the gore alone.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually one who's like, oh yeah, gore, whatever. But no, the scene, like, for instance, like scissors to the wall hand, wild shit. But the one that threw me off, because I had to go back and watch it a couple times, was when she gave herself the, not a stoma, what's it called?
Tracheotomy.
Yeah, but like normally with those, you have to put something in, like to open that airway. And I was like, why the fuck did she do that? And then I was like, oh, okay.
Did the toaster
I still don't think that's how that works, but okay.
I think the toaster hit her in the throat was what when she fucking went.
The brave little toaster was very brave in that moment.
That toaster fucked her up, man. And it was that, and it was like it got fucking completely nuts there at the end of the movie. We were trying to figure out like how she was making a spear. Like, what was that curtain rod that she had just sitting there in her after she getting bopped in the face with the toaster? But like,
that was a bloody fucking bathroom.
Oh yeah, that bathroom. Like, so the things that I had known about in this movie that had like. I pretty much knew that like the baby gets cut out at the end and like with the chick at least partially wins. The other thing that I've seen this movie show up on multiple lists is like when you have shots that shit happens in the background and her popping in the background when like the police don't lock the fucking door. And you could, if you're paying attention at like when the police show up and come into the house that first time.
Yeah, she goes by. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see her going on in the background, but you have to be looking. And that's a pretty infamous, like, hey, if you're paying attention, you could see some really fucked up shit. Also, the other one was
I don't think you really have to be looking, but yeah.
No, it's because it's not in the camera's not focused on it. Like, it's in the background. It's why, like, when she falls asleep a little bit after that, and like the fucking. She's just there all of a sudden, like in like kids making the faces. So I was like, this movie is like not probably terrified Ken with all the home invasion shit. That's the French do home invasion really, really well. But
So, fun repressed memory. Okay, so because we've discussed numerous times, home invasion freaks me out. People like, potentially bothering you, standing over you while you're sleeping.
Quit
I was
bothering me.
I was talking to HT about it because we were watching, and he was like, do you think that part of your home invasion issue stems from that guy that got locked up in his house for a few weeks? And I was like, I completely repressed that. And what had happened was one of our neighbors had somebody break into his house and keep him hostage for 2 weeks. And I had forgotten about it because it was when I lived with my parents.
Yeah.
And no one knew because he was a recluse. Like, nobody knew. And it was 2 weeks before he got it. I had completely forgotten about it. And I was like, oh shit, maybe. But no, I would prefer to never see anybody standing near me when I wake up. Like, no.
Dude, that scene where she's standing over her the first, like where she gets like there with her, like, and she's just like rubbing the scissors on her belly. And then she does that first cut on her belly button. And you're like, it's like one of the things I hate is if you fucking put your finger in my belly button, it gives me the fucking like creep. It's like, no, this isn't supposed to be happening. Yeah.
For years now, I have said I want my belly button removed, and everybody acts like I'm crazy. But if I ever get the loose skin off my stomach, I've already said they're removing my belly button. And when I saw her stick the scissors in there to like get a hold of it, which I know you could do anywhere, I was like, oh, fuck belly buttons even more, man. Like, no, I have the weirdest fears. Very odd.
You do have some weird fears, but like that, the home invasion thing makes sense. But like,
I just heard today that like when I was a kid, there was this one-way bridge, like a one-car bridge that we would like. You go down into this like gully, and we would have to take that coming from my grandma's house to go back to where we lived. And there was a light on either side of the bridge that allowed only one-way traffic because it was just a tiny little bridge. And there's this like creepy fucking shack. It's like down in the middle of like the woods, and then you come back up, and then you're in the city again. It was in the Sutina the Sutina Nation, like their land. So it was like a cut through type thing. And there's like the creepiest vibe because like if at night it's like these lights, you got to wait there, and you're like, oh my God, like someone could be waiting in those woods and you'd never know. And apparently there was someone legitimately a serial killer from America fled up to Canada and was hiding in that fucking shack. I didn't even know this. And they found him, and he was, this serial killer from, I think, Colorado or something came up and was hanging out in this fucking shack right there that he was probably in there when we were driving past. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but yeah,
that's some like urban legend shit right there. That's like, and then Josh tells the story, and then it ends up part of Urban Legend 3 or whatever the fuck urban legend they've done.
So weird,
dude. My uncle lives in Vermont, and so like old school New England, right? And like it has those old covered bridges, and we would get into like upper New York and Vermont in that area. And my dad we would drive across like those old, wooden covered bridges. And he would always tell me that it was like the bridge from like the Headless Horseman and try to fuck with me. Probably terrified me a little bit more than he should have. But yeah, so that's just what that made me think of.
I have this like little window, like the only window in my basement is this tiny ass little window. And because we've been doing a lot of stuff outside, I found some of my like Halloween decorations, and there's like this skeleton thing that's like this big. And I was like putting it down, but then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fuck with myself. And I put him right at the window like this with his hand up. And it looks so creepy. The first day I came downstairs, I'm on my computer. Fucking shit. And I actually scared myself. So I called him Steve, and I love him. He's looking at me right now. He's waving.
That's the kind of shit that I would be like, pulling out a gun and just like ringing on my house going like, ah!
I've heard on purpose.
So speaking of that though, like of, word side note, whatever, we're that generation that does not open doors when somebody knocks, right? Like
No.
we
Yeah,
take
never.
off and run. The next generation down is just like, man, whatever, but they don't answer it. I don't have any intentions ever of opening a door at night. Oh no. I don't.
He's back.
Hello. I don't ever have any intentions of opening a door at night, or if I don't know who it is. I've sat in that living room and had somebody knock on that door who was like drunk or high or some shit. I have no desire. So
See, my front door is right beside my huge front window that looks right into my living room that is always open. So if they're at my door, they just go like this and they see me on the couch. And I'm just
that's
like,
how ours is.
Yeah.
Which is why you keep your fucking curtains closed.
Yep, my house is
I
like that
don't.
too.
I
Yeah.
I'm open.
Those curtains are closed constantly. It doesn't
We
help
never
that like
close them.
we used to have a screen in the window, and our Great Dane, when we had one, like popped his head through the screen, and it never got put back. Like, you know, it's just like, God damn it. I was gonna say the other scene that of inside that was kind of like I've seen make the rounds in like internet videos is her stabbing her mother in the throat with the
Oh, that was
Damn.
the needle.
devastating.
Yeah,
That was.
it's the most like this woman has the worst luck in the world. You start off with her
car
and her
accident.
husband,
But
getting
can
in a
we
car
say
accident.
this movie is only an hour and 13 minutes with credits? So
Yeah.
it is
Oh.
like it's a snack of a movie.
Okay,
Wait, I thought it
The
was
co-
100 minutes.
it's not. No, it was like 80 something minutes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, sorry.
The other thing about this movie that made me laugh, and the only thing that's funny, they said that between the car accident and the thing was 4 months. The bitch looked like she was about to. She looked like she was about to have the baby, like in the car accident. She was so goddamn pregnant that she would have been
Yeah.
like 15 months pregnant.
Well,
by the
and
time.
that like weird CGI baby they kept showing was like
Yeah.
full term baby. Like
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the butterfly effect.
yes.
Yeah.
The
Totally.
butterfly effect baby. Yeah, that's what I was like. Which, by the way, is one of the makes you like that movie made me feel even yuckier than Inside. That movie still makes me feel yucky because of all the shit that happens in it. But
I forget.
yeah,
I saw it in theaters and I just remember Ashton Kutcher.
the lots of like the child molestation shit that
I don't
happens in that
remember.
movie. That the like
Oops,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it gets creepy. Yeah, that was the other thing. She was like 9 months pregnant in the car accident, and then she like.
As soon as like when they jumped and they were like, "Oh, I was like, Jesus Christ, she looks." I mean, like I know that you look, but the baby hadn't dropped, and at
Yeah.
that point, the baby should have dropped. It, whatever. It was very odd.
Yeah.
I was very much with you on that.
Yeah.
Can we just also talk about the fact that this just goes even further to discuss how police tend to just brush things off as,
Oh, yeah.
oh, you were just being like whatever. Granted,
Oh,
how are they going to
gaslighting.
investigate everything, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not just, if everyone called and was like, I heard a noise, you know, but at the same time, like, ugh.
Well, that and it's like you think of with the most American movies, like horror movies, like what did we just watched Scream 4, right? Where they're sitting outside her door and they get taken out like the biggest pussies in the world. But they didn't even do that. Like with this one, they're like, okay, we're gonna leave, and then we're gonna send 3 idiots back who the one guy might be the dumbest cop in the history of horror movies. Because,
What, tying the guy to him?
yeah, and like it was like he was taking a toddler and like and okay,
We got to get out of here, man.
yeah, and then like that was assault gun, wasn't it? Like it wasn't
was-
a
It was a riot gun.
yeah, so it was like assault gun because that whole thing it was confusing as shit when like fucking the 28 days later zombie shows up at the very end. You're like,
So weird.
Yeah.
so I think
That's what
what
I
it
was
was.
thinking. Exactly 28
Yeah.
days later. I was like, what
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? Why is he all of a sudden 28 days later?
Because I think it was assault. That's why I said like Ken said right gun,
Assault.
but so I think she shot him in the fucking
I
face.
keep hearing you say assault, not salt gun.
A space salt. SALT.
Yeah, I heard assault.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he assault? Who is he assaulting?
But this is one of those movies where it's like it does everything that like those horror cliches that you're just like, and it works in this movie, but you're like screaming at the movie the whole time. You're like, why are you like why at the very end, like after she sets her face on fire, she had plenty of time to get out of the fucking house, let alone when she had the spear and she doesn't stab her. And it's just like there's so many things. The cops are just all like, oh, and we're gonna walk her toddler around the mall in his harness, which is just like some stupid kid who you have to feel bad for because he's the like who gets one of the more brutal deaths in the movie also. And you're just like, no one in this movie, the only one who's kind of doing things right is the victim. And even her, she fucks up and doesn't murder the psycho lady. Like, you know, like that's the ultimate thing. You're like, did she like?
No, I think the ultimate thing was, you know, her cutting into her stomach and taking a baby out.
No, I meant the ultimate
I think that was the
takeaway of
ultimate
how
thing.
she would have.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, that fucking final scene where they should show her body on the fucking staircase and she's just like, and like just like it looks like a chest burster popped out of her is just like because
It was
those
pretty epic.
yeah those scissors, man, scissors are
It wasn't Nope. What was the one? Us. They reminded me of the Us scissors. I mean,
Yeah.
because they're sewing scissors, right? Like they're cloth cutting
Sharp
scissors.
as fuck.
Yeah. You did like my mother and my grandmother and everyone in our family. They sewed all the time. You never used their fucking cloth scissors for anything unless they gave you permission, and you sure as fuck did not use them on paper. Those bitches were like razor sharp.
But what if you're
Those are
like, can I use it on this lady's stomach?
I don't think they'd like that.
Those are the scissors I feel
Okay.
like every time I see someone with a pair of those, they're never like like the ends are all fucked up, like they're like like chunks have been like knocked out of the ends of them. You know what I mean? Like the very tips. They're like because they're big heavy ends, and every time I see a pair of those, it looks like they're like they've been slammed on the ground a couple of times or slammed through hands or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, those are. They're those scissors that you're like, they're the reason why they say don't run with scissors. Like those kind
They're
of
heavy. They're weighted.
Yeah.
The tips are usually sharp as fuck. The blades are insane.
Yeah.
Like you don't fuck around with those, and they do a good job in this movie of showing that because
Yeah.
she is like just going ham with that
Yeah.
thing into the walls and like.
she like when she's just like slitting throats and like going off on these cops, because I didn't think this movie was gonna have the body count it did either. Like I was like I thought it was like gonna be like one, maybe two people get killed besides the chick.
Especially when it's only an hour long. I was like, how the fuck? Like, this is shorter than most TV shows nowadays. And
Yeah.
the amount of shit and just really fucked up shit, it ramps up really quickly. Like, you get the introduction, and it's setting itself up for, you know, like at the beginning, it's like, oh, you're so safe now. Nothing can ever fucking hurt you. Fuck!
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
into the car accident. I'm like, you jinxed it, you fucking idiots. What are you doing?
It also reminded me, I don't know about you guys, about the Babadook, because the setup is kind of
Right,
similar
yes.
with the like, you know, the mother grieving like over like while the
You
The
are
fucking-
correct.
yeah.
Man, I haven't
Also-
watched that in a hot second.
No, I think that was one of those
You know what
movies
you
where I was
should
like,
watch? Psycho Gorman. You should watch Psycho Gorman. What happened to you, Rod? You look like digital noise.
See,
don't
he's
know.
fine on my end.
yeah, I see it on like I'm up here, I'm fine, but like I don't know, man. Whatever.
Refresh. Get out of here. There you go.
There you go.
You look great.
The it's so like also side note, this is again me, so I saw this chick and I'm like, she looks like Liv Tyler, kind of like she's got the Liv Tyler look to her, like, and it was like they were like, they must have like hired this actress who was her actor who played by, what's her name, Allison Paradis or something like that. They're like, okay, we're gonna hire you, you're not allowed to smile for like 80 minutes plus whenever you're on set. You're just not, Josh, you're fucking creepy. You're just not allowed to smile because
I got to do it at least once an episode.
I know.
Man.
This woman does not like. She's one of the least lucky people in the world, right? She's like, I mean, the whole thing with like, the whole like, they get into an accident with the other car that this lady is just as pregnant, and you go, oh, okay, this woman gets fucked over, and I don't know, for some reason at the beginning of the movie when she got in, I thought it was one of the nurses that was like,
I did too.
Yeah, because I thought the cigarette made me think it was the older nurse.
Same.
And then and then you see the
I thought they were all working together or something.
Yeah. I like how she just calls her a cunt. Doesn't she just call her a cunt? She's like cunt. And
I think she called her a twat or something.
She's
probably.
like, yeah, she's like twat or cunt, and then just gets up and walks away because they're in a hospital, and this woman gets like sits down and lights up a cigarette next to a pregnant lady. Like,
I'm like, what year is this? Like, this was this was like maybe the 80s or before. This would have been acceptable, but what fucking year was this movie? Like, Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
It was 2007.
2006, 2007, yeah.
But like, it was France, man. That's why the French are still like notorious for like smoking and like wee and doing all the Frenchy things, you know.
Wee.
Wee. Dude, another thing that was fucking creepy that like I wasn't expecting this. The fucking when she develops those photos from the park, and the bitch is just like standing there like in the way background.
Oh, I like know.
It's
That's
like you're like
creepy.
This woman does such a good job of just fucking being creepy as fuck, man. And like when she starts losing her mind, like after she gets like she stabs her with the thing she killed her mother with, and she just like throws a fucking giant temper tantrum, and you're just like, oh, this woman has lost her I mean, obviously she's lost her goddamn mind. It's once you find out though at the very end, like that she lost her baby in the same accident, you go, oh, okay, that explains why this woman has lost her I mean, it's like you think of things like Don't Breathe, which has the guy doing just horrible shit because he lost his daughter, and which I showed my wife like a couple months ago, and the turkey baster scene is still one of the, you're like,
it's because of the hair. They did the same thing in Barbarian. They just, it's like, it's just a bottle, but as soon as you add the fucking hair to it, like, oh my God.
Now all I could think of is I don't know if there's a giant moth invasion in Colorado right now. Like, I guess they're migrating and these things are fucking everywhere. And
that's what Rod looks like.
A moth? I'm a Mothman.
Mothman prophecies.
And isn't that in the movie where Richard Gere had a gerbil in his ass? No, that's something different. No,
but he is in that movie, the gerbil, yes, not Richard Gere.
Yeah, exactly.
And Richard Gere's ass.
I make toast and like I put an egg on it in the morning and put it in my air fryer. I did this like last week, and I as I pulled them out, apparently a moth had gotten into my air fryer and went into one of my eggs.
What the fuck?
And my wife was standing there while I was like pulled it out, and she was like, she's like almost started like dry heaving from it because it was so like it was pretty gross.
My brain immediately was like, did it live?
No, 370.
Was it still alive?
It was crispy.
It went to dust. Don't the moths just turn to dust? It could have been a nice little on your egg.
Nice.
Come on.
You made me think of the salt guy.
Yeah. Salt Bay your moths. Come on, do it right.
But no. Yeah. This like.
Oh wait. I also watched that White Man Can't Jump movie.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't terrible, to be honest, but it wasn't good.
I don't think I've ever seen the original. Like, it's
I
hard
saw
to go,
the
yeah.
original. That's why I wanted to see this, because I grew up with the original.
Ken is like, the ADHD is strong
It
tonight.
was so good. No, like it's great. Anyway, sorry.
Oh my God, we're the most.
That's where it
ADHD
comes.
motherfuckers.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Oh shit,
Oh,
I forgot.
now I remembered.
This is why I asked you before we started talking about if we watch anything cool.
Yeah, but I just remembered now. Okay, Rod.
Yeah.
Okay, Rod. Also, I'm talking with the Calgary Horror Con this week, I think. Figure out some other stuff. So I want to see if we can potentially, I don't know, do an episode with
something?
someone. Do something. Have my camera, whatever, there. I'll bring a mic or something. I don't know. I'll try and figure something out. I know I'm going to be so fucking busy that it's going to be insane while I'm there. But if I can break away for a time and have like a guest on, or, you know, I really want to try this year to like, I don't know, something, because that's what we wanted to do last year and I didn't make it happen. But this year I feel like I'm a little more organized, and I'm going to try to have pockets of time that I can be like, hey, you're cool. You want to be on a really like awesome, cool Slash and Cast network fucking podcast?
I
You're
like how
cool.
you use like a real shitty. I mean, you went with like real cool.
It's cool, okay? It's not
We
shitty
know-
at all.
We noticed it all, Josh. No, no one noticed that you're calling our show shitty.
I'm kidding. I didn't say it. You said it.
You just made the S sound that comes.
I'm
with
going to have
shitty.
everything else there, so might as well.
It's in the game, Josh. It's in the game. That's what it is. Oh fuck, man.
No, but I mean, in the context of like actually having a celebrity guest on our show, it would
yeah,
definitely be a step up for us, and
it would.
potentially a step somewhere for them.
So I wanted to ask this after we've been talking about this. Ken, I wanted like how comparable was the original or the remake that you saw in like 2016 or whatever?
They were very similar. I don't think, and again, it's been a little bit since I saw the English one, but I don't remember the gore being nearly that high. But I do remember the scissors and like that whole thing. But
Did they
How
end
do
it the same way?
Like they have the best like practical effects people in France or something. It's crazy.
I don't even think it's that.
They
It's
get
like-
a lot of insight, and they work a lot with like medical professionals to determine the correct way of things to look. Whereas like in the US, they kind of do, but France like really focuses
Well,
on it.
That's why. What do you call him from Dawn of the Dead? The guy who did the special effects for Dawn of the Dead. Like what's his name? I can't even think of his name offhand. He was in Dawn of the Dead too, but and he was the guy with the sex the pistol on his dick in from Dusk Till Dawn. I can't think of his name right. The reason why he's such a good special effects guy is he was a medic in Vietnam. So he had
saw the
seen
real
all this.
thing.
Yeah, you saw the real shit, and you go, "Oh, okay, this is why." Like he saw this shit up and close and personal. So it was like he had real references. You know, he had like that thing where he's like, he saw it up and close, and so yeah, I think a lot of it too is, to be honest, I think that there's a lot of this stuff could be made in America or made in like other places.
In America.
It just gets filtered out so much. Like it gets like cut down by anyone that like I mean tell like Terrifier 2 was one of those movies that got made for whatever less than $1 million, whatever the fuck it was, and like it had
that girl from Terrifier 1 that gets cut in half is going to be at the Calgary Horror Con now. So if we want to ask her anything, let me know.
How did it feel to get your pussy sawed in half? Comments.
Well, I think that you're on the right path with that too, right? Because like we water down everything so much here, but also
in America.
I think also like with globalization or whatever kind of being even more prevalent. I mean, 2006, yeah, like we had the internet and all that jazz, but like, I think that now that, I mean, I did, I don't know what you had going on,
I'm
but
kidding.
I think that, I think that, you know, now that it's a little bit more global, maybe that's why we're not seeing quite as much. I mean, I will say, fuck, what was that movie that I was obsessed with talking about that I just had the name of with the mouth stretcher with the guy?
Jumanji.
No, that we just watched recently with the guy in the mouth stretcher. Oh fuck! What
Infinity
was that
Pool?
movie we just watched. It.
Infinity Pool.
Yes, I feel like Infinity Pool kind of was like pushing those boundaries, and it feels.
It was
like
a Soderbergh. Well, wait, no. Wait, Soderbergh? No. What was I
Cronenberg.
saying? Cronenberg. It's a Cronenberg.
But I feel like maybe that's where those boundaries are being like sort of pushed. I don't, because I feel like everything is super watered down. And I think that's why.
It's because that's just America.
Well, yeah, but I think that that's why I've been personally like really interested in French horror now, because I'm like, these are really good. Because they're not necessarily that they're more gory or graphic or anything. It's just they're really good and they're not watered down.
This is my impersonation of Kin watching all the French movies. She's just like, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So funny. It legitimately, like me legitimately messaging friends being like, oh my God, this kill scene was so fucking cool. Okay, now I'm scared shitless and I can't sleep. But this is so fucking good.
Yeah.
This is why Kin got the meme made out of her about watching fucked up shit and people going, yeah, okay, Kin. I mean, it's the French extremity movement got called that like because it was fucking extreme as shit, man. Like it's this like Murders is the big one still like that we haven't watched yet, but like it got attention for. I mean, Inside's up there. Like I think that movie might have even like heavier subject matter, but like it.
What, Martyrs?
Inside is pretty fucking far up there, and like you go into things like Them, High Tension obviously gets a lot of attention, which we just did. They have some, and I'm sure there's more things that don't get as much attention because they're not as like crazy. It's like when you have a Serbian film, people are going to talk about it even though it's a shitty movie that just goes way too far but does shitty things, you know. Which, by the way, Jerry even says, "Don't ever watch that movie." Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm not either. But yeah, it's that kind of shit where you're just like, they push the limits, man, and it's like, and obviously they're still doing stuff. Like we just watched Titan a couple months ago. Things like Raw, things like Titan, whatever, the Revenge.
No,
Josh,
I do it to you every time you say it because it pisses you off so much.
It's in the game.
Yeah, Ken, before I think we did Revenge before you were around, which was another more recent French one that you would like.
But that is so like the remake of I Spit on Your Grave was like one of the first ones I saw at a cuff thing or whatever. And yeah, Revenge is just the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, but French.
Yeah, Revenge is very like, yeah, I spit on your grave. It's rapists that like try to murder a woman and then she takes them all out and uses,
but like graphically,
yeah, and uses her like beer can to cauterize her wounds. I think this is the thing that I will always remember from that movie.
She's MacGyver.
Yes, and the creepy fat
MacGruber.
guy. I've never seen MacGruber. I don't think I've seen MacGruber.
It's good.
I know of MacGruber.
Actually, it's not good, but it exists.
It exists, yeah. So like, I don't know if I really asked, and did the American remake of this like did it keep the same ending or did they?
I feel like they did, but I don't remember. I remember the scissors, but I don't remember if any. I mean, like the whole story was the same, right? Like it was but I don't remember. if
'Cause that's-
I don't feel like they would have shown to that extreme,
Yeah.
which is
But-
silly.
It's one of those things where American movies often just like happy up endings, right? It's like it's all the the descent. Like the descent's ending is one of the more famous ones where they cut it off to make it seem like the main character escaped, and then like, but in the British movie, you go back into the cave and you see that she's really fucked and is going to die.
I love
Even
that
though
movie.
they use the American ending to like make a sequel, which I refuse to ever watch. But yeah, I love the Descent. I think Dog Soldiers is my favorite movie he did though. Dog Soldiers is so fucking gnarly. It's I think one of my favorite werewolf movies ever, and I think we need to do it on the podcast at some point. But I love Dog Soldiers. I love that movie. I'm assuming Josh has seen that, but I don't know if Ken has seen that.
That was the one movie that, as a kid, I would go up to the box in Blockbuster and look at the back and like, and then put it back, and then I would run up again and it would scare the shit out of me.
Dog Soldiers wasn't that old, dude. It came out in 2002, man. I don't think it was scaring the shit out of you in 2002.
Wait, no, that's totally not the fucking movie I was thinking of. There's a different movie that had big dogs.
No, it's a
When I was a
werewolf
kid.
movie.
I know.
I know.
Rod, I know.
I also, I think that when the crazy bitch punches the window is like a pretty good like, oh, this bitch is so crazy, she does not give a fuck, and you kind of know she doesn't give a fuck because she's sitting outside of a woman's house stalking her, but you're sitting there going, how didn't she like break her fucking hand? Let alone like when
She did.
I mean, maybe she did, but then she goes to fucking ham on the fucking
I love how I just
door.
say it with so much. Oh, she did?
I was just going whatever, Josh, and going along with it because, like, what is the point?
This is when I just lose my mind and nothing makes sense.
We've hit
moose
45 minutes.
has come back.
We've hit 45 minutes, so Josh's ADHD has gone full, like, it's gone like commando. It's like, it's throwing out old Arnold one-liners and, like, just making you lose your fucking mind, Josh.
To be fair, mine has too, because now for some reason I went down. Yes, I'm on a rabbit hole.
It's okay. To be fat. By the way, there was a new Letterkenny for Mayday, and I knew what Mayday was because of you, Josh, and you're like. They had all the. It was a pretty good Letterkenny.
Oh, May long weekend, Mayday.
Yeah, where they had a bunch of. They had like Australians come visit and New Zealanders come visit, and then Americans come visit, and then the gay pastor guy set off all the fireworks, and I liked it. It was a good episode though.
It's totally a show that you would be totally into. Totally.
It's so yeah. It's like it reminds me of the town I grew up in. Just not
Canada.
that small. Yeah, not Canada. Not Canada, Josh.
Not
Might as well
Canada.
I was talking about it on my stream the other day. My high school literally had a cornfield next to it. So I mean, it was very, no.
So when are you moving up here, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Get out. Get out of America. Run away.
It's pretty similar up here, to be honest. So there's just way, way, way less people. Like way less people.
But it's as everywhere else in this fucking like it's so expensive to live everywhere. So like,
There's literally there's more people in California than there is in Canada.
yeah. It's because
What the
the
fuck?
mooses have killed everyone. Like there's no one left. Like there used
No,
to
it's
be
because
like
it's too cold up here. Everyone's just like, well, fuck that. Why wouldn't we just live in California instead? Oh, you can do that? Oh, okay. I'll just
you can live in California. You just have to have extreme amounts of money to do it because
And then
everywhere.
still be prepared to be absolutely broke at all times.
Yeah. That's why like I see streamers moving to LA and I'm like, are you fucking insane? I'm like, are you insane? Like
No, they're like, the YouTube algorithm will take care of me.
the YouTube algorithm. I I don't even know like I don't make very much money on Twitch, but I make money. I'm like sitting there going, YouTube is such a different animal that I'm like, I've barely crossed 100, subscribers on YouTube. I'm a YouTube channel. And there are like literally like hundreds and hundreds of videos on my YouTube. And it's just like, yeah, I don't get how you survive on any of that. But even the big guys, like all the big guys have like Patreons and shit like that now because YouTube doesn't give you the money they used to, right? So it's like
They split it so the top 1% of YouTube makes fucking money, and then everyone else doesn't.
I think the top 1% is just Mr. Beast. I think he like I've never watched a Mr. Beast video, but from what I could gather, he has lots of money and
He's like close to being a billionaire.
I think a lot of his is just from sponsors and shit.
No, he has his
I
own
mean-
stuff. Like his own
Well, I
chocolate
know.
bars in Walmart and 7-Elevens in America now, and
Yeah.
that's fucking nuts. And he's got Mr. Beast Burger, and
I look
Which
at
is
him.
a ghost kitchen, by the way. Anyway, sorry.
I look
all
at that
but
guy and
one.
I'm like, how is this dweeb as worth as much money as he is? Like
he's fucking smart, dude.
I know. That doesn't mean he's like. There's plenty of smart people out there, Josh. I just like I didn't know who he was until like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't think like it. Was
I
like,
was hard into YouTube back then. Like I was. It was this weird pocket that I found on YouTube where there's these kids that were like part of these shout out series, and I was part of this Morgs thing when this kid Morgs from the UK had like 3 or 4,000 subscribers, and all these kids that came in, I was like, oh, I could do that, and I only had like 500 or something subs, and these kids came in and were like, oh, you should do that, and then I did it, and they were like, oh, check out this Mr. Beast guy, and I was like, okay, and Mr. Beast had 15,000 subscribers, so I was like, okay, subscribe to him, and Morgs had 5,000, and now Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast, and Morgs has like 13 million or something. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened to me?
the luck of the draw, man. The luck.
No,
of
they
the
were
draw.
consistent, and they had like Mr. Beast was just making fun of kids' channels back then, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And
Yeah.
they're still all those videos are still up there. That's what I love about his channel. He didn't delete anything, so you can actually
Yeah.
see what he did
Yeah.
to make it.
I don't know. I've been like watching more of like Joe Sanagato's shit again lately after not watching his shit for a long time. And I guess I realized that I found him when he was doing those idiots of the internet videos that he used to do back in the day. And it's just like, oh, okay, that's how I figured out who this guy was. But yeah. I swear to God, you two both like were so like ADHD there out for a second. I was like, oh great, my computer is frozen. And then my face was my face was still moving, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay right now. Oh fuck. Fucking hell, man.
I took a
Bad thing
nap
was
before
that I
this.
was listening.
Yeah, I know. I'm just paranoid because my computer has been fucking possessed by Satan. I think
That's
that
fair.
I was worried that my fucking CPU cooler wasn't working right, and I literally pulled my case apart and put it back on, and it hasn't frozen yet. And I say that out loud, and it's going to do it for like the gods cursing me. Josh. Okay, I want you guys are you guys agree with me that the cop with the guy and the kid on the leash was the dumbest character in this whole movie?
I actually personally did not think he was the dumbest.
Who's the dumbest then?
I mean, one of the other cops for sure. I actually thought that he was like well, maybe he was the dumbest, but he was like semi trying to get
He was
somewhere.
trying.
Like,
That's what I thought.
yeah,
I'm like, at least
he was
someone's
trying
trying.
really hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
the fat guy who got stabbed a couple times with a needle was pretty dumb too. Like the one who was like downstairs when the one cop was like, arrest her, because they like walked up in the hallway and you're just like, oh man.
I was like this, Rod.
If anyone would like to, I need help, and you're more than welcome.
Josh,
Please
why are you,
send help.
yeah, please someone assist Josh with his eating almonds or whatever the fuck he's putting in his mouth now.
Yeah, that's it.
I do love some almonds.
Almonds
Milk
are one of
chocolate.
those almonds are one of those things that you go, I can eat like 50 of them and you feel like you didn't like eat anything. It's one of those like weird
Then all of a sudden you have a
foods.
stomach ache because they're hard to digest.
Yeah. And then you read the back and you're like, oh, I fucked up bad.
And how much salt they put on them too. They just fucking pour salt in those fucking things. You're like,
Chocolate covered almonds.
They're great.
Chocolate. You silly fucks. Okay, well, I like this movie a lot. I think that like I literally was one of those movies that I tried tracking down on the early days of the internet, and I would look for it on streaming and stuff like that. It's on Shudder now, but when it picked up like this and Martyrs and High Tension and shit,
You know what else is on Shudder?
Psycho Gorman.
Yes. But also Influencer, which we're checking out next week on
Influencer,
episode
yes.
140 of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network episode, Murder Moose Styles.
It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game.
It's in the game. It is. Okay, I have to ask, Josh, you've been as ADHD as you are usually. We're gonna go wrap up, and I want your final opinion of Inside, Josh.
Okay. My final opinion of Inside is it's good.
Sorry, I interrupted your final opinion.
Ken,
I love fucking with. No,
please.
it was actually okay. So I feel like I'm happy that we're going into some of these more extreme movies because I was like I was being a fucking pussy and not watching some of the more extreme ones for a bit there. And in putting this on, I was like, oh man, I'm really like honestly not looking forward to this because I know the subject. It's fucked. But when I switch it up and go, wait, I love horror movies, and this as a horror movie is fucking fantastic. It's super brutal. The special effects are fucking awesome. And it's just, it puts you in a situation that you really don't want to fucking be in. And it does it all well. So like I was explaining this to Diana after, and I'm like, man, as a horror movie, this is really good. But as like, I can't even talk to you about the, like this will fuck you up if I even tell you what the movie's about. So I can't. So yeah, it's fucked.
I have friends where like I said, I'll message them and be like, oh, this is this. And they're like, no. And then so now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, well, we probably shouldn't even discuss what this is about. Don't worry about it. Go listen to the podcast if you want to know. But like, I don't think you're going to like it.
It's one of the more like hardcore movies, man. Like it's not an easy subject matter, and it's not like it is pulls no punches. This movie pulls zero punches. It's I think the worst part of this movie, besides the CG baby, which I don't know why they kept going to, was the characters were a little like goofy, but like overall, I thought it was great. Ken, final thoughts on Inside.
I still truly hate home invasion. I still truly hate belly buttons, and I really enjoyed it otherwise. And I want to rewatch the English one.
Yeah, it would be a good comparison. It's one of those things though. Like, God damn it, Josh. I always wonder like when they do these remakes because I think
It
of
wasn't me.
I think of like Old Boys remake, and I think of the like Let Me In, which was the Let the Right One In remake. And I'm like, if you're gonna do a remake,
Rod,
do
just let
something-
me in. Just let me in.
Okay, I'll
sign.
spread my cheeks for you, Josh. So you can, I'll like, it's like the whole like, you know, at some point I kind of want to do funny games on this
face.
podcast because Funny Games is one of those movies that like they did in like were Denmark or something like that, and then they like 10 years later they remade it with Tim Roth and like the same director, same thing, but just in English, but the same shot for shot everything. It's like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want you to do like, and I'm glad that this, you know, other director got to do that, but like, do something different or do something like, that's why remakes are so like, why do something just because of subtitles, man? Like, it just,
It breaks my dick.
it breaks my dick too. But yes, I like this.
How about
movie a
your
lot,
dick,
though.
Kin? Does it break your dick?
No giggle dick in here, so
Okay. Next week we're doing influencer. Is there an S on there? Influencer.
Influencer.
It's a
am I
dark.
gonna hate it? Am I gonna be angry with it?
No, because you're not an Instagram influencer. It's about Instagram influencer who goes to Thailand and bad things happen.
Ah, okay.
But like all those like girls on Instagram with their hashtag motivation kind of bullshit is kind of, it actually kind of reminds me of the chick from
It's very
that?
highly
Sissy. Sissy. It reminds
yeah.
me of Sissy a little bit, like that. But not.
It's been
really.
making the rounds on like all the festivals and getting like really high ratings. So
It was good.
Yeah, it
I
looks
liked
really
it.
fucking good.
So I'm excited to talk about it next week. So yeah, we're doing that. Murdermoose.com, Murder Moose Podcast on Twitter. Come follow us there. We do most like what movies we're watching, all that shit. We're going to continue.com, stdmotel.com, stdhotel.com, onlynouns.com, and quainttaint.com. So go all of those places to see if we want to see Kin, and go check out her stream and twitch.tv/continue because she's fucking awesome. And Josh is joshwrb.com and joshwrb on Twitter. And I'm Rod_Johnston on Twitter and Twitch and all those things. So come follow me there. So that's everything. I think I'm going to say I love you guys, and we will be back next week for Influencer. So love you guys. Have a good one. Bye. Yeah, bye.
It's in the game.
Oh wait.
It's in the game.